Today I'm going to show you how to do the problems on Unit 1 Embedded Assessment 2. Problem 1. Betty had $452.13 in her checking account, and she wrote checks for $53.15 and $117.48. The first thing you do with this problem is it says to write an expression involving addition that shows the amount that remained in Betty's account. Okay? Well, the first thing you do is you have to figure out, first she had these two amounts that she wrote checks for. So she had $53.15 and she had $117.48. So you have to add these two numbers together to figure out how much that she actually wrote the checks for. So she started her checking account with $452.13. After that, she wrote checks for a negative $53.15, because when you write a check, you lose money. And then she wrote another check for $117.48. So that's what the actual problem would look like. If you're actually solving it and you just want to solve it, you add these two numbers together. That's the two checks that she wrote. So 8 plus 5 is 13. 4, 5, 6. 7 plus 3 is 10. 7. So her checks totaled $170.63. Okay? And in her checking account, she had $452.13. So even though this is what we ask you to write the problem to look like, you can still solve it by simply saying $452.13 minus $170.63. Okay? It gets a little tricky when you borrow. You're going to go ahead and do this because you can't use a calculator. Okay, so make sure you do your borrowing correctly. And you get $281.50 left in her account. You need to make sure that you say all of that information. Okay? All right, next problem. The lowest point on the Earth's surface is the shore of the Dead Sea. It tells you that it's 1,344.99 meters. The highest point is the summit of Mount Everest, which is 30,380.42 meters. So these two numbers right here are your important numbers. They want you, I put over here that you're going to do subtraction. What's the elevation at the summit of Mount Everest? Well, all you have to do here is the actual problem. So when you do subtraction, you always put the biggest number on top. Biggest number being 30,380.42. Just be very sure to line up your decimal points. You have to line up your commas too. 344.99. But most importantly, lining up your decimal points. When you do this and you borrow and you subtract it all out, you get 29,035.43. And don't forget to put feet on the end. I always also have everyone circle their answers. Okay, the next problem. The elevation of the deepest point of the Pacific Ocean is negative 11,033 meters. The elevation of the deepest point of the Atlantic Ocean is negative 8,648. Write a subtraction expression. Okay, so you have your two numbers, and they want it to be subtraction. Okay, so you have negative 11,033, and they want you to subtract negative 8,648. Well, we already know that when you have two negatives next to each other, that you turn the negatives into a positive. Negative plus a negative turn to a positive. And then when you add those two together, it turns into negative 2,385 meters. if I wanted to write that out over to the side, it would be 11,033 plus 8,648, and then I just actually subtract it. Take the sign of the bigger number and subtract. Okay, and then you always circle your answer. So in this problem, you have an A and a B. So we have to write the subtraction expression up here. So you would get credit up here. And then evaluate by solving it, you would get your B credit down here. Okay, I'm going to turn it over now to the back side. Again, remember, these problems will not change. The numbers will not change with these. Okay. Greg borrowed $100 from his parents. After he did some chores, they reduced the amount of his debt by $25. Okay, so let negative 100 represent the amount Greg owed his parents before he did the chores. Write a subtraction expression to actually show the amount that Greg still owes his parents. Well, negative 100 is the amount that Greg owed his parents before he did the chores. And then minus the negative 25, that they reduced the amount of his debt. Okay? We still have the negative next to the negative, which cancels out to a positive. So this is the actual subtraction expression. These are the numbers that are important. Sometimes we like to see you do that on your test too, showing that you know what the important numbers are. Okay? So this is the subtraction expression. And down where you evaluate it's when you actually do the problem. So it would be negative 100 plus 25 equals, keep the sign of the bigger number, which would be negative, and subtract. So a negative 100 plus 25. Greg owes his parents if they reduced his debt. Greg owes his parents, and I kept the sign of the bigger number. Keep the sign of the bigger number and subtract.